Amma liked to arrive a few minutes early. The city was still quiet when she stepped off the bus and walked toward the glass tower where she worked once a week. The lobby smelled like lemon polish and fresh flowers. A gentle song played from hidden speakers. She greeted the concierge with a small smile and signed her name on the service log. She carried a neat tote with her supplies, even though the apartment already had everything. It was her habit to be prepared. She believed good work began before the first task, with a calm mind and a careful eye. She pressed the elevator button and watched the numbers glow as the car came down. In the mirror, she checked her uniform, smoothed a wrinkle from her sleeve, and adjusted the small pin on her collar. The pin was from a community center where she once attended a free first aid class. The class had been simple, friendly, and practical. The teacher had a warm voice. He said, "We are not doctors, but we can notice, we can call, we can help." Those words stayed with her. Amma was not a nurse, but she was a good observer. She took that role seriously, at home and at work. The elevator doors opened to a high floor with quiet hallways and soft carpet. She tapped the access code and entered the apartment of Ethan Cole, a well-known CEO. His name often appeared on business news in the waiting room of her clinic and on posters in the subway. To Amma, he was simply a client with a calm apartment and a busy life. She rarely saw him for long. When she did, he was polite but always in a hurry. He waved, thanked her, and then disappeared into a call or a car or a meeting. She never took it personally. People lived at different speeds, she thought. Her speed was steady. His speed was fast. The apartment was large but not showy. Wide windows faced the morning sky. A long gray sofa rested against a pale wall. On a side table, a small plant leaned toward the light. Amma liked that plant. It reminded her to open the blinds as soon as she arrived so the leaves could drink in the day. She set her tote down in the kitchen and took a slow look around, the way she always did, making a mental map of tasks. Dishes in the sink, towels to change, floor to vacuum. She moved quietly, almost like a librarian, careful with every item. Today, little things felt slightly out of place. She could not say why at first. It was not a mess. It was something else. On the counter, a coffee mug sat near the edge, as if placed down too quickly. A dark ring had dried on the marble like someone forgot to wipe it. A bottle of vitamins lay on its side. A few tablets had rolled near the fruit bowl. A jacket hung unevenly on the back of a chair, one sleeve dragging on the floor. These were not big problems, she told herself, but they did not match the usual order of this home. Amma lifted the mug with 2 fingers, steady as a dancer. She smelled the faint scent of strong coffee. It had been sitting for a while. She wiped the ring and placed the mug safer, away from the edge. Then she picked up the tablets and returned them to the bottle, reading the label out of habit. She did not pretend to understand each word. She only checked the name and the dose so she could put it back exactly as she found it. She lined up, the bottle with the others in a neat row. She felt better when things stood straight. The study door, usually half open, was almost closed. A line of light cut across the hallway floor. Amma paused. She did not want to interrupt if a meeting was in progress. She had learned a quiet dance in this home. Step in when invited, step away when needed, stay present, but invisible. She listened for voices, a keyboard, or the rustle of paper. The apartment answered with silence. Even the building hum felt softer than usual. She checked the small memo pad on the kitchen island for a note. Sometimes the assistant left instructions there. There was no note today. She thought about the concierge downstairs. When she signed in, he had spoken in a low, friendly voice. He said Mr. Cole had come in late the night before, looking very tired. "Big deals, big pressure," he had said with a shrug. Amma had smiled back. She knew pressure, too. just a different kind. Her pressure was making sure every sheet was smooth, every surface safe, every space welcoming. Her grandmother had once told her, "Care does not need a uniform, it is a way of seeing." That sentence lived in Amma's hands, in the way she folded, washed, arranged, and listened. She moved to the laundry area and began a small load: towels, a white shirt, a gym top. The washer hummed a gentle rhythm. She set the vacuum against the wall, ready for later. On her phone, tucked in a pocket, a folded note from the first aid class slipped against the case. It had one short word written in block letters: fast. Next to each letter, a meaning: face, arm, speech, time. She did not read the note now. She simply knew it was there. Sometimes she liked to tap it after class just to remind herself that she could be useful if something ever happened. As she wiped the dining table, Amma noticed the air felt heavier near the study. It was not a smell. It was a feeling, like a room that had not been opened to fresh air. She looked toward the door again. A thin strip of light waited. Inside, the keyboard was still. The chair's wheel was visible through the gap. She remembered that on other mornings she had heard the fast click of keys and the low sound of Mr. Cole's voice talking to a screen. Today, only the refrigerator made a soft, steady sound in the kitchen. She could hear her own breath. Her mind tried to explain the little changes. Maybe he had an early flight and fell asleep at the desk. Maybe he wore the jacket late at night and left it crooked, and the vitamins fell by accident. Maybe the coffee cooled while he stepped out to take a call. All these small maybes were possible, but something in her felt alert, the way a hallway light flicks on when a person walks by. The alert did not shout. It whispered. It said, "Look again." She was careful not to panic. Panic was not her way, but attention was. She walked to the windows and opened the blinds a little wider to bring in more morning light. The plant on the side table seemed to lift. She straightened a picture frame that had tilted on the wall. Her fingers took comfort in the small task. Then she returned to the study door and stood quietly, listening. She thought about boundaries and respect, the rules she followed in every home. She never went into private spaces without a reason. She believed trust was part of her work, just like soap and water. At the same time, she believed safety was also part of her work. If a candle burned too close to a curtain, she would move it. If a window rattled in a storm, she would close it. Today did not feel like a normal day. A soft sound came from inside the study. It was not a word. It was more like a breath that tried to become a word and then changed its mind. Amma's hand loosened on the door handle. She waited, in case it was only her imagination. The sound came again, very quiet, like someone turning a page and stopping halfway. She swallowed. The first aid teacher's voice returned to her memory. He had said, "If something feels wrong, do not ignore it. Stay calm. Check gently. Ask. And remember, time matters when a person needs help." The teacher had smiled after saying that, so the words would feel like guidance, not fear. She knocked softly with 2 fingers. No answer. She knocked again, a little louder, and said his name in a careful voice, like she was placing a glass on a table without making a sound. "Mr. Cole?" The quiet returned. She listened to the silence more closely now and realized there was a rhythm to it, like breathing that worked harder than usual. She had heard this sound once when her uncle had a bad cold. It was the sound of the body trying to keep up. Amma looked down at her hands. They were steady. She knew she had not been invited in, and she did not want to cross a line. But she also knew that a line could move when a person might need help. Her job was care. Care sometimes meant dusting a bookshelf. Care sometimes meant noticing a small, important thing before anyone else. She breathed in, slow and deep, so her voice would be gentle. She said his name one more time. "Mr. Cole, it's Amma." She turned the handle and opened the door just enough to look in without entering. The study was neat, with dark shelves and a big screen. Papers sat in organized stacks. The chair faced the window, not the desk, which was unusual. The coffee cup on the side table had left a pale ring under it, as if it had been set down and forgotten. Amma kept her feet at the doorway. The figure in the chair did not turn toward her. She could see the outline of a shoulder. The morning light touched the side of the chair and part of the floor. Her heart thumped once and then steadied. She did not step inside yet. She spoke again, softly, and waited for a reply that did not. "Come." She noticed the small clock on the wall and the second hand ticking. Time, she thought. Time is quiet, but it moves. She glanced at the phone in her pocket and felt the folded note press against the case. Fast. She did not pull it out, but the letters stood clear in her mind. She did not want to assume anything. She only wanted to be sure he was safe. Her training did not make her a hero. It made her someone who could act in a simple, clear way. Amma took one more careful look around the room from the doorway. She looked for obvious dangers, a fallen lamp, a tangled cord, anything that could hurt someone. She saw none. The room was safe, but the silence was not. Outside the windows, a small bird landed on the balcony rail and then flew away. The washer in the laundry area clicked into its next cycle. The world kept going, but this room waited. Amma felt that weight in her chest, like a note held at the end of a song, not finish. Amma opened the door, just enough to speak and see clearly. The study felt cooler than the rest of the apartment. The chair was turned toward the window. Ethan sat there, leaning slightly to one side. His jaw seemed relaxed in a strange way, as if the muscles were tired. The hand on the armrest did not look comfortable. His fingers curled inward, not because he wanted them to, but because they did not know what else to do. Amma stood still for a heartbeat, and then she spoke. "Mr. Cole, it's Amma." His head turned a little, slow and heavy, like it weighed more than usual. He tried to answer. The first sound was a soft breath. Then a word came out, but it slipped. It sounded like two words pressed together and then pulled apart. Amma took one step into the room, quiet and calm. She kept a small space between them, so he would not feel crowded. She noticed the right corner of his mouth, which did not rise the same as the left. She noticed the right sleeve of his shirt, which hung in a way that made her think the shoulder was not doing its full work. She noticed his eyes, trying to focus and then losing the line. She remembered the word on the folded note in her phone. Fast, face, arm, speech, time. The teacher had said, "You can do small checks. You can notice. You can call." Amma did not want to scare him. She chose simple steps. In a gentle voice, she said, "Sir, can you smile for me?" It felt strange to ask, but the request had a reason. He tried. The left side of his mouth moved, but the right side stayed lower. She nodded to herself. She did not cheer or panic. She just saw what she saw. "Can you raise both arms, please?" she asked, showing the motion with her own arms, lifting them to shoulder height like a slow bird. He watched her, tried to copy the movement, and lifted his left arm higher first. His right arm rose a little and then drifted down as if it were made of a softer material. Amma kept her voice steady. "That's okay," she said softly. "Thank you." She took a small step closer, keeping her eyes level with his. "Can you say this sentence for me?" She picked something simple that the teacher had used. "Today is a good day." Ethan shaped the words, but they came out with a stumble. "Tay is a go." The rest fell apart on the way out. He looked confused. Not angry, not proud, just confused that his mouth did not do what he asked it to do. Amma looked at the clock on the wall and saw the time. She looked back at him, opened her phone, and pressed the emergency number. The ring felt longer than usual, though it was only a second or two. When the dispatcher answered, her voice was firm and kind. "Emergency services. What is your location?" Amma spoke clearly. "Highview Tower, 18th floor, Unit 1803, on Woodcrest Avenue. The client's name is Ethan Cole." She gave the building's main entrance and the service entrance, and she spelled the street name. She also mentioned the access code for the elevator, the one she was allowed to use for work. The dispatcher repeated the details back. Amma listened for accuracy. Everything matched. "What is the emergency?" the dispatcher asked. "I think he is having a stroke," Amma said. She did not say it loudly. She said it like a fact she had to place gently on a table. Face drooping on the right, arm weakness on the right, speech trouble. He is awake and breathing. He is sitting. The last time I saw him well is unknown. I arrived about 20 minutes ago. I first checked him just now. The time on my wall clock is 9:22. "Good job calling," the dispatcher said. "Stay on the line with me. Is the patient on any blood thinners to your knowledge?" "I don't know," Amma said, "but I can find his medication list in the kitchen drawer. I've seen it there before when I tidied." She did not leave yet. She did not want to move too fast and leave him alone. "He is breathing, but it sounds like it is working hard." "Okay," the dispatcher said. "Do not give him anything to eat or drink. Do not give any pills. Keep him safe and comfortable. If he is slipping from the chair, help him to the floor gently on his side with a pillow under his head. Note the time. We have an ambulance on the way." Amma nodded, even though the dispatcher could not see her. "Thank you," she said. She looked at Ethan. His eyes were on her now. They looked like someone trying to remember a word that sat just out of reach. She spoke to him directly. "Help is coming, sir. I'm here with you." From the desk, a phone screen lit up with a soft buzz. A name flashed. "Leah, office." It was his assistant. The call stopped and then buzzed again. Amma kept the dispatcher on the line and answered with her other hand. "Hello, this is Amma. I'm in Mr. Cole's apartment." Leah sounded busy, already moving to the next task. "Oh, hi, Amma. He's probably just tired. He had a late night. Can you draw the blinds and let him rest? He has a noon call, but we might push it." Amma's voice stayed calm. "I have called emergency services," she said. "He is showing signs of a stroke. Face droop, arm weakness, and speech difficulty. The ambulance is on the way." There was a pause, a rustle of papers, and then Leah spoke again, faster. "Amma, are you sure? He gets migraines. He gets stressed. We don't want to. I am sure he needs help now," Amma said, not unkind, not harsh. "I will text you the building entrance and the elevator code so you can meet us at the hospital. Please bring his ID if you have it at the office, or any medical information you keep." Leah's voice softened, the sound of a mind turning toward the truth. "Okay," she said, taking a breath. "Okay, I'm going now." Amma ended the assistant's call and stayed with the dispatcher. "Ambulance is 3 minutes out," the dispatcher said. "Is he safe where he is?" Amma looked at the chair and the small table beside it. "I will move the table away and let him lean to the left if needed," she said. "He is sitting forward a little, but I can support him." "Good," the dispatcher said. "Keep talking to him. Simple words. Reassure him. If his breathing changes, tell me." Amma put the phone on speaker and set it on the desk, close enough to hear. She moved the small table away so it would not be in the path. Then she knelt beside the chair on Ethan's left, the stronger side, so if he needed support, she could be there. "Sir, help is coming," she said again. "You are not alone." She kept her tone even, like a steady drum. She told him what she was doing before she did it, so nothing would surprise him. "I am moving this table a little. I am straightening the rug so no one trips. I am opening the door so the team can find us fast." He tried to say something, The sound came out as a few letters and then a half word. Amma waited for him, not pushing. He took a breath and tried again. Sore, he said. It might have been sorry. It might have been another word. Amma shook her head gently. No need, she said. You are doing well. Save your strength. As she stood to open the study door wider, Amma's eyes fell on a folder on the desk. It had a neat label, Medical Insurance. She took a mental note. If the team needed it, she could point. She did not start looking through it now. Safety came first, then details. The clock ticked softly on the wall, each second like a drop of water. She checked the time again and said it aloud for the dispatcher. It is 9:25 now. A mild cough came from Ethan, not deep, more like a throat trying to clear. Amma picked up a small trash bin and placed it near him just in case, and handed him a clean tissue. His left hand took it, slow but able. She saw that as good news. The left side was stronger. She kept her own hands open and relaxed. Her body language was part of the room now, soft, steady, and ready. The dispatcher asked, "Is there someone who can meet the paramedics at the front?" "I can ask the concierge," Amma said. She pressed the apartment's landline speaker button, which had a direct call to the front desk. "Front desk?" she said. "This is Amma in 1803. Please tell security and the concierge that an ambulance is coming for Mr. Cole. They will need the service elevator. I will unlock the door and place a doorstop." The concierge answered at once. "Understood. We're on it." His voice carried a new energy now. People moved when a clear need was named. Amma unlocked the apartment door and set a small rubber doorstop to keep it open. She placed a towel near the front to protect the corner of the door from the wall, a simple habit. Then she returned to the study, keeping her steps quick but not rushed. She stayed on Ethan's left side again and spoke to him in short, kind lines. "We are moving step by step. People are coming. You are safe." From the speaker, the dispatcher said, "Ambulance is arriving now. You may hear the buzzer." She did. The building's entry chime sounded through the line. Amma confirmed, "To the concierge again," then kept the path clear. She moved a plant stand away from the hallway and checked the floor for anything small that could cause a slip. Her eyes saw the home now as a path, not just a place. She returned to Ethan, who watched her with a look that mixed worry and trust. He did not know every detail of what she was doing. He did not need to. He only needed to know that someone was doing it with care. The dispatcher's voice stayed with her. "If he tries to stand, encourage him to stay seated until help arrives." "Understood," Amma said. She placed a hand, light as a feather, near his left shoulder without pressing, a presence more than a hold. "Stay with me in the chair, sir," she said. "Help is here." The first knock came, a firm, clear rhythm at the open door. "Paramedics," a voice called. Amma spoke out. "We're in the study, down the hall, first door on the left." Her voice carried not fear, but direction, like a light in fog. Footsteps moved with purpose. 2 paramedics entered the study with a calm, practiced air. 1 car. The ambulance doors closed with a soft thump, and the city sounds faded into a steady hum. Amma sat buckled in the front seat next to the driver, hands folded over her tote. She could see Ethan on the stretcher through a small window, the paramedics, working with quiet speed. The driver spoke into the radio, giving the hospital a short, clear message that sounded like a code. Amma did not know the code, but she understood the meaning. Get ready. They were coming. Traffic moved aside with the siren. The street opened like a ribbon, then bent again. Buildings passed in a gray-blue blur. Amma glanced at the clock on the dashboard and wrote the time in her notepad. She kept the notes short and neat. Left apartment, elevator time, ground floor time, ambulance departure. She thought of the teacher from the community center who had said, "Write a few facts. They can help the next person move faster." She did not need to be perfect. She only needed to be clear. Her phone buzzed with a message from Leah. Arriving at Memorial General. 10 minutes. Amma typed back a simple reply. We are 5 minutes out. Stroke team alerted. Bring ID if possible. There is a folder at home labeled medical insurance. Paramedics may have taken it. She added a thank you without thinking about it. She thanked people as a habit. It helped her keep her heart steady. The ambulance turned and slowed. The driver said, We're at the bay. He opened his door and hopped down. The back doors opened and the paramedic's voice carried forward. On 3, steady. The stretcher rolled with a smooth rumble. Amma stepped aside to let the team move. She adjusted her tote on her shoulder and followed them through the sliding doors. Inside the emergency department, the light was bright but soft. A nurse in blue scrubs met them at a marked area. Stroke alert? She asked, looking at the paramedic and at Ethan with quick, kind eyes. Yes, the paramedic said. Right facial droop, right arm weakness, speech trouble. Unknown, last known well. Found this morning at about 9:22 by staff. Vitals are in normal range. Blood sugar okay. The nurse nodded and tapped on a tablet. CT is on standby. Let's move. She placed a yellow band on Ethan's wrist and tucked a small clipboard into the stretcher's side. Amma stood near the wall to keep the path clear and held up her notepad. I have the times, she said when the nurse looked her way. I also know where his medication list is in his home. They may have brought it. The nurse accepted the notepad for a moment, scanned the neat lines, and smiled. This is helpful, she said and handed it back. Stay in the family area for now, please. We'll update you as soon as we can. A clerk at a desk called out gently, Ma'am, are you with the patient? Amma nodded. The clerk asked for a few quick details, name, address, birth date if known. Amma gave what she knew and added, His assistant is on the way. Her name is Leah. The clerk typed, then printed a visitor sticker and stuck it to Amma's shirt near the pin from the community center. The pin caught the light. For the first time that morning, Amma noticed it shining. The hallway to the CT room felt like a short tunnel of movement. A tech at the doorway gave a small wave. We're ready. The stretcher slid in. A doctor in a white coat appeared at the foot of the bed and spoke quietly to the paramedic, then to the nurse, then to Ethan. Mr. Cole, I'm Dr. Lin from the stroke team. We're going to take a picture of your brain to see what's happening. It will be quick. You are safe. The words were simple and firm. Amma felt her shoulders drop half an inch, as if the air in the room had softened. A security guard guided Amma to a small seating area nearby. You can wait here, he said. I'll make sure you hear any updates. He had a gentle face. He poured a paper cup of water for her from a cooler without being asked and placed it on the table. Thank you, Amma said. She did not realize how dry her throat had become until the water touched it. She took small sips and watched the hallway. A few minutes later, Leah hurried in with a bag over her shoulder and worry in her eyes. She looked at Amma and then at the doors. How is he? She asked, breath a little short. Amma stood and spoke in a calm rhythm. They are taking a scan now. The doctor said they are checking what kind of stroke it is. They will decide treatment after the scan. We arrived fast. Your speed helps too. Leah nodded, her hands gripping the strap of her bag. She looked smaller without the office around her. He always says he's fine, she whispered. He never asks for help. Amma offered a simple reply. Today, he allowed it by needing it. A case manager came over with a clipboard. Do? You know the patient's emergency contact? She asked. Do you have a copy of his ID or insurance? Leah pulled a wallet-sized card from her bag and handed it over. Yes, also, I can call HR to pull his file if needed. The case manager took the card and made a quick copy, then returned it. She wrote down Leah's number and Amma's number, too. Stay close, she said kindly. The doctor will speak with you soon. Time felt both slow and fast. The overhead speaker announced codes that meant nothing to Amma, but the pace in the hall told her things were moving. A tech rolled out a portable monitor. A nurse pushed a cart with medication. The doors to the CT room opened and closed with a soft sweep. Each motion was like a part of a quiet dance. Amma watched this dance and found courage in it. Everyone knew their steps. Everyone had a part. Dr. Lin returned with another doctor, a tall man with calm eyes. "I'm Dr. Lin. This is Dr. Raj, our neurologist," she said. "The scan shows a blockage, not a bleed. That means we can consider medicine to dissolve the clot or a procedure to remove it, depending on timing and exact location. Because we don't know the exact moment symptoms started, we'll move very quickly to our next step. We may do both. Medicine first, then a procedure if needed." She looked at Leah and then at Amma. "Who was first on scene?" "I was," Amma said softly. "At his home. I saw the signs and called." Dr. Lin's eyes warmed. "You did exactly the right thing," she said. "Your times helped us." "Thank you." Leah swallowed and asked, "Is he going to be okay?" Dr. Raj answered carefully. "We are doing everything fast, and fast is good with the brain. We will take him to a special room to try to remove the blockage, if it is still there after the first medicine. We appreciate both of you staying and helping with details. We also need to try to reach family in case we need consent for anything complicated." Leah nodded. "I'll call his sister. She is listed as his emergency contact." She stepped away to make the call. A nurse came with a form and explained each line to Leah, who signed where needed as the authorized workplace contact for basic information flow. Amma did not sign anything. She did not need to. Her role was different. She was the quiet line of support, the memory of times, the pathmaker who cleared obstacles before they formed. Still, as she stood there, she felt something inside her settle. She had stepped into a stronger voice today. It did not feel loud. It felt right. A small challenge came next. The stroke team prepared to move Ethan to a procedure room, but the transport elevator had a delay because of a maintenance check. The charge nurse frowned at the screen. "We can't wait," she said, and picked up a phone. Within a minute, a supervisor unlocked a second path meant for urgent cases. The team pushed the stretcher down a different corridor. Amma watched how one problem met a calm solution. She made a note in her mind. Clear words move doors. Leah returned, eyes damp but steady. "His sister is on her way," she said. "She thanked you, Amma. She asked me to tell you that." Amma felt her face warm and looked down for a moment. "I am glad," she said simply. She sent a quick message to the building concierge as well, letting him know that the hospital had taken over and thanking him for holding the elevator earlier. His reply came at once. "Proud of you, Amma. Keep us posted." The words were small, but they rested on her like a soft shawl. They waited in a quiet corner near the procedure area. A volunteer offered tea. Leah took a cup and held it in both hands like it was a small heater. Amma declined the tea and chose to stretch her fingers, instead opening and closing them gently to release the morning's tightness. She thought of her grandmother saying, "Care is not only hands. Care is eyes, ears, words, and time." Today, care was also a voice on a phone, a doorstop, a notepad, and a path cleared of small objects. A resident doctor stopped by to update them. "We have given the first medicine to break the clot," he said. "The team is now doing a procedure to pull out any remaining blockage. It is like using a tiny tool inside a straw, but please forgive the simple description. We will know more very soon." He paused, then added, "The quick call and the clear times make a big difference. Minutes matter for the brain." He looked at Amma with honest gratitude and then moved on. As they waited, Leah told Amma things. she had never said out loud before. "He is a good boss, but he forgets to rest," she said. "He thinks rest is something he will buy later with success. But you cannot buy rest. You have to take it." Amma listened, not filling the space with advice. She knew that sometimes people need quiet more than words. After a while, Leah asked, "How did you know what to do?" Amma told her about the community class, the teacher with the warm voice, the fast letters, and the choice to act. "I am not special," she said. "I just used what I had." Leah shook her head gently. "Using what you have, when it matters, is special," she said. The room seemed to agree. The clock ticked. The air vents whispered. A gurney rolled by with a soft squeak, then silence again. A small group of... The elevator doors opened to a quiet hallway with soft lights and calm colors. A sign read, "Stroke Care Unit." A nurse greeted them with a friendly nod. "I'm Maya," she said. "He's in room 412. He's resting now, but you can see him for a short time. Please keep your voices low." Leah and Ethan's sister looked to Amma, and Amma gave a small, steady smile, like a hand on a shoulder. Inside the room, the air felt gentle. Machines hummed in an even rhythm. A monitor showed green lines that rose and fell like small hills. Ethan lay in bed with a thin blanket, his head slightly raised. A soft cuff around his arm inflated and released in quiet cycles. There was a light bandage where the doctors had worked. His face still showed a small droop on the right, but his eyes were more focused now. He looked at the door when they entered, and that simple motion made all three visitors breathe easier. Maya checked the screen and wrote a few numbers on a chart, then spoke to them in clear, simple words. "The blood flow has returned," she said. "He is stable. The doctors will keep watching him closely for the next day. They'll do small tests often. This helps the brain and body heal in the right way." She turned to Ethan and smiled. "Mr. Cole, your sister is here, Leah is here, and Amma is here." She pointed gently to each person. Ethan followed with his eyes, slow but sure. Leah stepped closer, her hands clasped in front of her. "Hi, boss," she said softly. "We're here." Ethan's left hand lifted a little, as if to say hello. His fingers trembled but found the air. Amma stood at the foot of the bed, not too close, not too far. She had always believed that care has a respectful distance. Ethan looked at her and blinked once, twice, like someone who wants to speak but is still choosing the right door for the words. A speech therapist named Jonah arrived with a small bag. He had kind eyes and a calm voice. "Good afternoon," he said. "I'm going to do a few short checks. They help us see what the brain is ready to do today." He turned to Ethan. "I will ask you simple questions. It's okay if it feels hard. We go slow." He began with easy things. "What is your name?" Ethan took a breath. Etha. The last letter caught, then found its place. "Ethan." Jonah nodded. "Good. Can you tell me the month?" Jonah asked. Ethan looked at the small calendar on the tray. His eyes moved like they were tracing a line in sand. "Oh, August." Another nod. "Very good." Jonah took a small spoon and a cup of water. "We will test your swallow," he said. "Tiny sips. If anything feels wrong, we stop." Ethan took a small sip. The muscles in his throat worked in a careful pattern. Jonah watched, listened, and then smiled. "That went well," he said. "We will keep to small sips for now, and we'll add more as your doctor allows." A physical therapist, Lena, joined them. She spoke to Ethan with gentle energy. "We will try a few very small movements," she said, "just to remind the body that it knows how to move." She guided his left leg to bend and straighten a little, then his right leg to the degree it could. She asked him to press his left hand into hers with soft pressure, then his right. The right was weaker but present. Excellent, she said, like a teacher who believes in her student. The brain is a good learner. Maya returned to adjust a pillow and check the IV. We'll keep this simple today, she said. Short visits, quiet room, no heavy thinking. The brain likes calm after a big day. She turned to the visitors. Who will stay for the first hour? Leah and the sister looked at each other. I can stay, the sister said. He may rest better if a family voice is near. Maya nodded. Good. 2 visitors at a time is best. Amma stepped back. I will wait outside, she said. I can bring water or find anything needed. Leah touched Amma's elbow in thanks. We'll switch in a bit, she said. He will be glad to see you again. Out in the hall, the floor felt like a quiet library. Nurses moved in soft shoes. A cart rolled by with a warm blanket folded on top. Amma sat on a bench by the window. The city outside went on with its day. Small cars, a bus, a person walking a dog. She let her shoulders loosen and took a long, slow breath. She looked down at her hands and noticed a faint mark from the tote strap. A gentle line across her palm. It was a small sign of a long morning. Leah joined her a few minutes later, carrying 2 paper cups of tea. For you, she said. It's mild. Amma accepted it and wrapped her hands around the cup. The heat felt good. Leah looked tired, but her face had more color now. The fear was still there, but it had made room for hope. He said my name, Leah said quietly. Slowly, but he said it. And he tried to smile with both sides of his mouth. She let out a breath that sounded like a soft laugh. It was not a perfect smile, but it was the best one I have ever seen. They spoke a little about work, but only the gentle parts. Leah said she would ask the team to pause any non-urgent tasks. She would send a message to staff that the CEO was in care and would be offline. She would ask for privacy and for prayers, in whatever form each person believed. People forget bosses are human, she said. Maybe this will remind us all to rest and to listen. Amma nodded. Listening looks like nothing, she said. But it is something. A hospital chaplain stopped by, offering a quiet greeting. I like to visit families and staff, she said. No pressure, just a listening ear. Leah thanked her and asked her to check in later with the sister. Amma listened and learned. In this place, care wore many faces: science, timing, words, silence, even tea in a paper cup. After a while, Maya waved them back. You can see him again, she said. He's had a short rest. Inside the room, a small change had happened. A gentle pillow supported Ethan's right arm. A board with a marker lay on the tray in case. Words felt too heavy. The light from the window had shifted a little, making soft shapes on the floor. Ethan saw them and his eyes warmed. Amma stood near the foot of the bed again. Hello, she said. We came back. He made a small sound that wanted to be a laugh, then lifted his left hand a little. He pointed with his eyes toward the marker. The speech therapist, who had returned, guided the board closer. Try one word, Jonah said. Ethan wrote slowly with his left hand, each letter like a small step on a path. The word was not neat, but it was clear. Thanks. Leah covered her mouth with her fingers and blinked back tears. Amma kept her face soft. You are welcome, she said. Many people helped. Jonah leaned in with a warm smile. That's enough for now, he said to Ethan. Good work. The afternoon moved gently. Nurses came and went with medicines and checks. Each time, they explained before they acted. They asked Ethan to squeeze their fingers and to follow a small light with his eyes. They measured his numbers and wrote them down. They adjusted the room so it stayed calm and clear. The machines did their quiet jobs. The team did theirs. A hospital social worker, Daria, arrived to talk about next steps in simple language. He may need a short period of rehab after the hospital, she said. It can be in the building or at home with a therapist visiting. We will see how he does tomorrow and the next day. The good news is that today went well. The brain loves early help. She gave Leah and the sister a list of simple questions to ask and a notepad to capture little changes. Amma listened and felt glad for the list. Lists made floating things land. Late in the day, the doctor returned with an update. We will watch for swelling and keep his blood pressure in a good range, Dr. Lin said. We will also start basic therapy early, short and gentle. Small steps add up. She looked at Ethan. You did hard work today, she said kindly. Now we rest smart. Ethan looked from the doctor to Leah, to his sister, and then to Amma. His eyes held a question and an answer at the same time. How did we get here? We got here because we did not wait. Amma could not read his thoughts, but she felt the thanks in his eyes reach her like a warm light. She gave a small nod, as if to say, You don't need to speak. I hear you. Visiting hours ended for the evening. The sister planned to stay a little longer. Leah needed to handle a few calls and then return in the morning. Amma stood at the door, ready to leave, but not rushing. She looked at the room one more time, the way she looked at a kitchen before. She finished a shift, checking corners, paths, and small risks. The IV line had slack so it would not pull. The tray table was out of the way. The water cup sat where the left hand could reach it. The marker was capped. The call button was close. Maya noticed her careful eyes and smiled. You have a nurse's mind, she said. It was said as a compliment, not as a demand. Amma smiled back, surprised by how the words felt. Not heavy, just possible. In the hallway, Leah turned to Amma. Will you come by the apartment tomorrow? She asked. Not for chores unless you want to. For peace. I think the place will calm the team if it feels normal. And we'll need the medical folder updated and a bag of basic items for him. Amma agreed. I can do that, she said. I can also make a simple list by the door with emergency numbers and steps. It will help anyone who comes in. Leah nodded. That would be perfect. They reached the elevator and Leah pressed the button. The doors opened and closed, with a soft sigh. As they descended, the day felt like it was landing. On the first floor, the lobby smelled faintly of clean soap and warm air. The volunteer waved. The security guard lifted a hand in a quiet salute. The city outside glowed with evening. On the sidewalk, Leah hugged Amma in a quick, gentle way. You changed the day, she said. You changed the map we thought we had to follow. Amma shook her head. Morning sunlight touched the side of the glass tower when Amma returned the next day. She carried a neat tote, a small notebook, and a calm plan in her mind. The concierge greeted her with a warm look. How is he? He asked softly. Better, Amma said. The doctors say yesterday's fast action made a big difference. The concierge nodded, relief showing in his shoulders. We're proud of you, he said. She smiled and thanked him, and then took the elevator up. Inside the apartment, the room felt the same, but the meaning felt new. The chair still faced the window. The coffee ring was still there, a pale circle like a quiet reminder. Amma opened the blinds and let the plant drink light again. She washed the mug, wiped the table, and straightened the jacket sleeve still hanging from the chair. Small order felt like care. She took out her notebook and made a short list with clear lines. Emergency numbers by the door, medication list updated and easy to find, a simple fast sign with big letters, face, arm, speech, time. A small go bag for the hospital. She started with the door. She wrote a clean card with important numbers. Emergency services, hospital stroke unit, Leah's number, the sister's number, the building desk. She placed the card in a clear frame and stuck a copy inside the hall closet, too. Then she opened the kitchen drawer and found the laminated medication list the paramedics had used. She checked the names and dates on the labels and made sure the list matched. She added allergies and the primary doctor's clinic number. She clipped the list to a bright folder and placed it in the first kitchen drawer with a label that said, Medical, open first. Next, she wrote Fast on a sheet with a thick marker. The letters were large and simple. Under each letter, she wrote one word: face, arm, speech, time. She added one short line: If any are not normal, call emergency now. She taped the sheet inside the pantry door at eye level. She made a second copy for the front closet. She did not want anyone to have to search for knowledge when seconds mattered. Leah arrived with a small sigh of relief, as if the apartment itself was a kind friend. It feels calmer already, she said. Together they made the go bag, a soft sweatshirt, comfortable pants, socks with grips, a comb, lip balm, a phone charger, and a simple photo in a small frame, a picture of a lake and a quiet morning. He likes that place, Leah said. It helps him slow down. Amma wrapped the frame in a clean cloth and placed it carefully on top. They added a notebook and pen, so small daily changes could be written down. Leah wrote the current date on the first page and the nurse's name from last night. Amma added the room number and the phrase, ask before helping, a reminder for visitors to follow the team's plan. They zipped the bag and placed it near the door for the next hospital visit. Before leaving, Amma walked through the apartment with a gentle eye. She lowered one high rug edge with double-sided tape, moved a side table so it would not catch a sleeve, and placed a small nightlight in the hallway outlet. She did not make the home feel like a hospital. She made it feel safer, softer, easier to move through. She knew the body heals better in a place that does not fight it. At the hospital later that day, the stroke unit felt warm with people who used quiet voices and clear steps. Ethan was sitting higher in the bed, supported by pillows. His right side still moved slowly, but his eyes were brighter. He lifted his left hand in a small wave when he saw them. The speech therapist greeted everyone and guided a short session with simple words. "We will say a few names," he said. "Point if the word is hard." Ethan tried Leah, and the word found its shape. He tried Amma, and it came out softer but true enough. Amma felt the room itself smile. The physical therapist encouraged a few small steps with a walker later in the week. "Just to the chair and back," she said. "Tiny steps count." Ethan's right foot learned to listen again. The left side helped. The team cheered in quiet ways, nods, warm eyes, a soft good. The brain liked this language of little wins. Days passed, with gentle structure, morning checks, short therapy, rest, simple meals, notes in the notebook. Leah came with the go bag. The small lake photo sat on the tray, a steady reminder that fast work today would lead to slow mornings tomorrow. Ethan's sister read, a short piece from a book he liked. Amma did not speak much during visits. She offered simple things: a neat corner, a straw placed within reach, a soft cloth for his hands. She believed that small comforts are also medicine. While Ethan healed, other changes began to move in the world around him. The building held a short meeting for staff. The manager stood by a sign that said, "Safety first. Call, don't wait." He said, "From today, any worker who sees a serious risk can call emergency services at once. No permission needed." He thanked Amma by name, not loudly, but with real respect. A stack of flyers with the FAST sign lay on a table. The concierge placed one at the desk and one by the elevators. The security guard smiled at Amma as he taped one in the staff room. "These letters are big," he said. "They will catch our eyes." At Ethan's company, Leah sent a message to the entire team. It was clear and kind. "Our CEO is in recovery after a medical emergency. Thanks to quick action, he is doing well. Please respect his privacy. In his honor, we are adding 2 things. First, We will provide free first aid training to any employee who wants it. Second, we will test new work habits. No emails after 9 p.m., a meeting-free hour each day, and 1 quiet hour each week for deep focus or rest. Replies came in from many departments. Thank you. We needed this. How do I sign up for the class? Leah created a simple sign-up link and posted the dates. The community center that gave Amma her first pin invited her to speak at a Saturday class for neighbors. Just tell your story in simple words, the teacher said. People learn from real life. Amma felt shy but agreed. She stood at the front of a small room with a cardboard sign that said, Fast. She told the group about the quiet morning, the off things, the checks, the call, the path cleared, the notes of time. I am not a nurse, she said. I just used simple steps. You can too. She showed how to check a smile, how to ask a person to lift both arms, how to listen to the sound of words, and how to call. She practiced the address line with a volunteer, the way she had done on the phone. Speak slow and clear, she said. Details help a stranger become a helper. The class clapped, not loud, but warm. The teacher handed Amma a small envelope with a certificate and said the center had a new scholarship for evening healthcare classes. We would like you to have the first one, he said. Amma touched the pin on her collar and said yes, with a quiet, grateful heart. A few weeks later, Ethan came home for the first time. It was not a big event. No cameras, no speeches, no crowd. It was a simple return with a wheelchair for longer walks and a walker for short ones. The elevator ride felt like a soft breath. The apartment opened its calm doors. The plant by the window had new leaves. The nightlight in the hall turned on at dusk. The fast signs were tucked away for now, but still easy to find. The medical folder sat in its place. The home felt ready to help. Ethan moved slowly to the window with the therapist's guidance. He looked at the city, then at the chair where he had sat on that morning, and then at Amma. The right corner of his mouth tried to lift. It did not rise fully, but it did not need to. He spoke in short sounds that carried true meaning. You saw, he paused. You called. He paused again. Thank you. He pressed his left hand over his heart. Amma answered in the same simple language. You are welcome, she said. Many people helped. You did too. He looked at the medical open first label and at the small card of numbers in the frame. He smiled with his eyes. Good, he said softly. He pointed to the lake photo on the shelf, the one from the hospital bag. Soon, he said. Amma nodded. Yes, soon. In the weeks that followed, Ethan worked with therapists at home and at a rehab center. He learned small tricks to help the right side wake up. Open and close a clothespin, squeeze a soft ball, move a spoon from bowl to cup. He learned to rest in a smart way and to take short walks, not heroic ones. He learned to use a timer to leave his desk and stretch, even when a task felt urgent. He learned to be honest about tiredness. These were not flashy lessons, but they were strong. He also made a promise, and he kept it. He funded free first aid classes for building staff, drivers, cleaners, receptionists, guards, caterers, and anyone in the neighborhood who wanted to learn. The classes were simple and friendly, just like the one Amma had taken. The teacher kept the words short and the practice real. People learned to see, to speak, to call, and to help. A new pin design showed a small clock with the word time under it. The pins were not fancy, but when they caught the light, they looked like small stars. One evening at the community center, Ethan came to speak for a few minutes. He did not stand at the front long. He spoke from a chair. He said, I am here because someone noticed and did not wait. He looked at Amma and added, She changed the path of my life. Then he said something else that made the room quiet in a thoughtful way. "We measure success by speed and scale," he said. But on the day that mattered most, success was small and simple. It was a person knocking, asking, checking, and calling. He thanked the group and sat down. People clapped gently. The "I" sound felt like thanks more than praise. Amma started her evening healthcare classes soon after. The first night she felt like a small boat. Oh,